Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is CLX Foundry Live. We are back after the holidays with our final show of the year, and we've got an amazing build for you. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and today's master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, Merry Christmas. How you been? Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy whatever else you might celebrate. How was it? Did you guys have fun?
Very fun.
It was a good time.
Nice. That is excellent. Excellent to know. You know what else is a good time? The opportunity to win a free PC, and this time we got 2 PCs to give away at the end of the year, which is going to be fantastic. Now, there are 2 different times on this one. The Saber Raven, which is an amazing PC. We'll see if we can get a peek at that real quick. That PC is going to be given away at the end of that ends at the end of the month. Now, that is very different than our Crusader build, which was from DreamHack Atlanta. You got to watch Paul build it live on the show floor. Super cool. Also Star Citizen style build, and it's going to be amazing. So exclamation give Saber to get information about the Saber Raven giveaway. Exclamation give Crusader for the DreamHack Atlanta giveaway. And pay attention to the codes because they only work on one or the other. They don't work on both. Now, you can find codes all over the place, including today on our Twitch channel. You can also find them on Tuesdays over on our Kick channel. You can find them on my streams. You can find them in our social media for CLX, and that is on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube and Threads, and that, of course, is CLX Gaming. You can do it sometimes, maybe find them in our Discord, discord.gg/CLX Gaming. Now, with that being said, we have a project for Lee in Texas, and I'm kind of intrigued as to how this is going to go because it's got some pretty rad parts. So, Paul, take it away.
Yeah, so Leah's configured one of our RAWs off our website. So starting out, we've got the Intel i7-14700KF for our processor. To cool that, we've got the Intermax Liquimax 3 in white. This is the RGB version. You guys have seen it before. For our motherboard, we've got the MSI MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi. And for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Corsair Vengeance 32 gigabyte DDR5 6000 speed memory. That's also in white. For our video card, we've got the RTX 4080. This is the Zotac model. I believe we've done one of these on the show. It might be a few weeks, but I think we've done one. And then for our case fans, we've got 10 of these Intermax 120mm. These are in white, obviously, and RGB as well. For our storage, we've got a 4 terabyte Seagate Fire CUDA 530 NVMe drive. So just one drive with a ton of storage on it. And for our power supply, we've got the Gigabyte 1000 watt 80 plus gold fully modular. And obviously our case, we've got the O11 XL in white.
Nice. Well, this is going to be a fun one. Speaking of fun, we had a lot of fun over the holidays, and I know a lot of people got new games. So let's talk a little bit about what kind of games you guys, anybody in the chat got. We would love to know. Also, if you have questions about anything that you hear on the show, please make sure you ask. Even if it's not related to the specific build, but maybe your build. Maybe you have got questions that these guys can answer. Ask away, and we'll get to them as quickly as possible. The PC is cool. Looks like this will actually play Star Citizen. Yeah, definitely. I think I actually finally figured out what might have been preventing me from playing Star Citizen, and so now I can hopefully get back into it. We'll try that possibly today. You bought Hades for the 3rd time? Nice. I don't know what that means, but Kakaboo! I need this PC. Hello, welcome. You love Supergiant games? Yeah, what's up, Nicole? Hello, happy holidays. So, and we've got something really special to show you guys during the break today because I think you all will really love getting that inside look over at DreamHack Atlanta. That's going to be a great video. But right now, we're setting up what is the inside of an O11 XL by Leon Lee. This is a raw build. I love that plastic pull-off. Now, this is a very similar case to what I have. So, Paul, let's talk about some of the unique features of this case and why this case is really good at what it does.
Yeah, so this case has obviously gained a lot of popularity. I mean, overall, the looks are great. We've got our glass panel on the front, glass on the side. But what is kind of unique about this is here in the back, these 2 bays, these are our extra hard drive bays. You can also fit 2.5-inch drives in here as well. But why these are special is they come pre-wired with your SATA data and SATA power, so that makes the drives hot swappable. So all you have to do is screw in a drive to the tray. and slide it in, and it will plug into the SATA connections here in the back where you can see these wires are, and you don't got to run the extra wires. So even though we don't have a 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drive, we're still going to plug in both bays to the motherboard and obviously to our power supply. That way if the customer ever upgrades or has a drive at home they want to add, they just have to slide it in. They don't have to worry about running in any extra cables.
Excellent. So a couple questions coming in already. Let's go ahead and just bring it on down. So does the 4080 require a 1,000 watt power supply? I have an 850 watt. Is that okay? Good question.
Yeah, I mean, it'll depend on your, you know, the other components in your system, like your processor, and the other stuff's pretty low voltage. But yeah, an 850 can power a 4080 just fine. Oh, sorry, Zach.
You're fine.
Nice.
Get you some more stuff.
Let's see here. Quarkin asks, could you please add Poland to the eligible regions? So unfortunately, it's not up to us. That's going to have to do with whether or not giveaways are legal in your country. So, but that's for more information. You want to go and check out Surf's website. That's where that comes into play. Finally gave in. Hello, what's up, dude? Welcome back. We're trying to get the Saber and Crusader code giveaway over on the YouTube channel, and it's not happening, but we'll get them there, people, I promise. Can you tell me the dimensions of the lower fan rack that was just taken aside? Excellent question.
I would say 6 inches by 14 inches.
Yeah, enough room for 3 120 mils. Obviously, it's a little got some extra space along that, but yeah. And yes, those hot swappable bays, you can remove them from the case if you wanted to.
Nice. All right, let's take a look at this motherboard. This, of course, is an oldie but a goodie. It's not an oldie; it's brand new, but it's, you know what I mean. We love MSI for this reason. This is an MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi, as Paul mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at some of the connectivity that we have on this board. So starting at the very top, obviously, we've got our display port and we've got our HDMI. As we move down from there, you've also got your CMOS and flash. But here's where it really gets good. You've got USB 3.2s. There's 4 of those, right? 3.2 Gen 2s, and then you've got 5 USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 gigs, and then the very last USB-C is going to be a 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, which is 20 gigs up and down. How amazing is that? Then you've down below, you've got a 2.5 gig LAN port, your Wi-Fi 6E ports, and your surround sound, including an audio, the audio connectors, which is kind of new. It's very unique for these boards. That red one is you can do it. It's programmable. So, yay! Is there a TB4 internal header on that board? Ooh, half that. Good question. I don't know what that means.
Thunderbolt
Guys, what's
4?
a TB4? Ah, Thunderbolt 4. Got it.
I am
now,
not
what's
sure,
the
but I can find out for you while we're doing this build.
Would that be an internal that I need to look on? Because I've got the internal I/O right up in front
Yeah,
of me.
yeah. So they might even have an internal header or an external. So it just kind of depends on the board.
I've got a JTBT. I don't feel like that's a Throwback Thursday header. No, that's not what that stands for. I'm not seeing it mention anything about Thunderbolt 4, but Bittersweet, thank you for that resub hype. Is there a big difference between? Let's hear. Ivory's back today. Yes, he's finally back. Finally feeling better. Nicole's a streamer too. Yeah. Nicole's huge on multiple different social media platforms. Let's see here. I used to dab a lot. Oh, dabble a lot. Sorry, but Nicole, I read that wrong. Speaking of dabbling, let's talk about processors. We see a lot of them all the time, but this is an i7 14700 KF processor. Now, this is the 14th gen in the i7 series. Paul, walk us through some of the features of this CPU.
Yeah, so this is a 20-core, 28-thread processor. So it's broken down into 8 P cores, or performance cores, that have hyperthreading on them. And then it's got 12 efficiency cores, also known as E cores. So that's how that breakdown is done. It's got a base speed of 3.4, and it'll boost up to 5.6.
Awesome. Perfect. Sorry, on the YouTube side, Botrix decided to suddenly just show up, and everybody who's been I manually put the links over there, and everybody who typed exclamation give Saber and exclamation give Crusader, all of a sudden Botrix just drops a line of links. That's fantastic. Now, one of the cool things about the 14th gen processors is the fact that they're all out. Now, there's obviously you've got various different types of processors, and for those who might not be familiar with it, can you walk us through what the difference between a 14700, a 14700K, or a 14700KF? What do those mean? What do those do?
Yeah, so there's going to be a difference in clock speeds across those, but with the nomenclature, just the non-version is just that's what it is out the box. And then once you get into the Ks, that means it's unlocked so that you can do some overclocking if you want to. And then the F means it doesn't have onboard video. So some processors have onboard video, which essentially allows you to get video to your monitor without having a video card. Obviously, in most gaming machines, you're going to have a video card, so we don't need our processor to have onboard video. So that's why we're going with a K, or that's why they went with a KF in this build.
Gotcha. Now, one other thing that's important to note about that is that the KF has unlocked our first code of the day. It is for the Saber giveaway, the Saber Raven. That is 150 people get 100 extra entries. The code is Saber, SABRE-LSKO. Lick Sugar Kind Officer.
Oh.
I'm not sure where that came from. So please, the next time you get pulled over, hand a sugar cube to an officer, see if it works. Just kidding. Please don't do that. Don't break the law. It's very simple. And then we got Shazdash. Hopefully I said that right. And then the KS stands for, as in Kilo Sierra.
So the S is special edition. So if you see like a K and another thing, like the KS, they're two separate meanings there. So the K means it's unlocked for overclocking. The S means it's a special edition.
Kakabu is over on the green side. Yeah, listen, I'm really excited. I'm hoping that somebody who's been in our chats and regularly in here really walks away with this. It's going to be fun. Now we have a question coming in from Watto Storm. Watto wants to know, is the 14700 much of an improvement over the 13700K for gaming? Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Once again, it's going to depend on your gaming application and, of course, all that good stuff. But yes, there is a good improvement between the 14th gen and the 13th gen across all the families, really.
Perfect. And yes, like Sugar Kitchen only. There we go. Saber Dash like Sugar Kitchen only. I'm excited. Whizzicles wants to know, why do some have integrated graphics and some don't? Just make it easy and do it on all. Well, there's a reason for that. Paul, why don't you explain how that works?
So, I mean, essentially what it comes down to is cost. It's obviously more expensive to produce a processor that has onboard video built in. So it's a good way for them to, you know, cut the price down by however much, you know, usually like 20 to 40 bucks depending on the processor, if you're not going to use that onboard feature. So it's just another way, if you know, if you're not using that, if you're always going to have a video card, it's a way to save you a little bit of money and still get a good performing CPU.
Nice. Now, as we see pulled up here, we've got the RAM already out and ready to go. Now, this is really fun. This is new. It's from Corsair. It is 32 gigs of DDR5 6000. So it's total of 64. So whereas I have 4 sticks, this is done in 2 sticks. Impressive.
Nope.
Now, DDR5 6000 is pretty much the fastest RAM. Now, see, there we go. See?
They made DDR5 on. They put that line almost right in the middle of DDR5.
Right? Why?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Actually, good question. Why change the keying on there?
I mean, they have to change the keying between the different generations of memory because obviously they're not like backwards compatible. But I don't know why they put it so close to the center. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's see here. Hey, hey, you, get off my cloud. I see what you did there. It says, why do you have to follow on the X to register for the contest? First of all, let's never call it X. Let's just call it Twitter, because that's really what it is. And that is where the baseline for the API is. That is put on by surf. So yeah, there we go. It's a thing. Now, speaking of things, let's talk about the thing that's going in the very top of the operating system drive. And this is actually what I have for my gaming drive. It's a 4 terabyte Seagate Fire CUDA. Now, this is an NVMe M.2, so it plugs right into the board. It's going to be super fast, and it's got tons of space. Now, and from what I understand, we do not have a secondary drive, so this is a 4 terabyte system, which is super cool. Plus, it's got the snap-on heat shield, which it still baffles me. How much easier is that to use than, say, screws or latches?
I like them a lot because it just lets me not have to use a tool to take it off and remove it. So it just makes it that much easier to work with.
And let's see here. Yeah, like Toothpick mentions, I would think the extra $40 would be worth it for onboard graphics just for troubleshooting bad video cards, etc. See, and personally, I wanted it because it produces less heat. Not a whole lot less heat, but it does produce less heat because I'm not having the graphics die on there. Speaking of dies, we've got another question coming in from Hamonji. Hello, what's up, Hamonji? Thoughts on a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D and a 47 combo? Would there be any bottleneck?
Those pair pretty well, honestly. That 7800X 3D is a great gaming processor, and obviously the 4070 is a good card there. I think, like, you're not going to have a bottleneck there, but that CPU, I mean, it can pair with a higher model GPU as well, but it's still not a bad combo.
So you're saying there's also room for advancement in the future?
Yep, yeah, you got room to grow in that video card there.
And we got a question from the red side at PMAD. What's up, Pete? How you doing? So is it better to have 4 sticks? So 2 questions coming in. First of all, is it better to have 4 sticks or 2 sticks? And I believe that's in reference to the RAM. Paul?
Yeah, so if you're going to do like testing and you want the ultimate best scores ever, it's going to be better to do, let's say, 4 sticks of 8 versus 2 sticks of 16. Obviously, we're comparing with the total capacities being the same, because essentially you can think of it, your memory lanes as like a highway. Instead of having 2 lanes open, you've got 4 lanes open. So it's going to be faster with 4 sticks versus 2. However, when you're looking at like actual frame rate in games, I don't notice a big difference in the testing that I've done between a 2-stick or a 4-stick. So I typically go with the 2 sticks because it allows me to upgrade later in the future. It leaves those extra slots open on your motherboard.
Yep. See, and I went with 64 gigs, but I ended up going with 4 sticks. Now, the second question that PMAT had is a really good one. Does the board support a single Gen 5 NVMe, or can it support 2 or more at full speed? Well, let me look at the actual. We've got.
I believe it's going to be a
on this
single.
specific board. Yeah, on this specific board, it is PCIe 4.0 across the board for the M.2s. Yeah, PCI 4.0 by 4. Yeah. So that, if that makes sense, Paul, what exactly does that mean?
That's essentially just referring to your, the connectivity between the M.2 and everything else, like our PCIe slots, everything else on the motherboard. Newer is better, the higher number is faster, is really all you need to keep in mind for that.
Aromatic sugar,
our fans
smelling
done.
good. Says, I was looking at a Ryzen 7 7700X and a 4070. Would that be a good combo?
You said 7700X and a 4070?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be good as well. Those are pretty equal to each other. Pretty much when you're going with that 7700X, it's going to work with, that's a good range between a 4060 to even a 4080. For the 7800X 3D, obviously it's going to work good with everything below a 4070, but also up to a 4090 and that good stuff.
Let's see here. Is that an LTT screwdriver? You know it is. That's weird. After this long, I finally know what your screwdriver is. All right. Speaking of screwdrivers, something that you'll have to use that LTT screwdriver for is to make sure that your board is properly mounted to the inside of your case. Now, this is not done by setting the board directly onto the case. It's done by managing it through what's called standoffs. Guys, what are standoffs? How do they work? And how do you know which one goes where?
So standoffs are what your motherboard is actually going to sit to. These screws that Zach's putting in right now, he's screwing the board into the standoffs right now. And what those do is they provide a tiny raised platform so that our motherboard isn't just sitting on bare metal of the case here. That way it doesn't short out or anything like that.
Dead Can Dance. Yo! Dead Can Dance. Hi, first of all, Dead Can Dance was one of my favorite bands, like groups back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Absolutely loved them. For those of you who've never heard their music, they're incredible. So asked about the RAM frequency and XMP. It's DDR5 6000. But XMP, remind me what that means, Paul.
I believe it's extreme memory profile. It's essentially what you can use in the BIOS to set your RAM speed.
Gotcha. All right. Now we've got our fans getting onto those.
Excuse me.
Getting onto the rack there. Screwdriver, I could use a couple. Been a long week. Yep. Oh. I see what you did there, Whistles. I see what you did there. I'm picking up what you're putting down there, guy. Now, speaking of things that you can't really put down, let's talk about that power supply. This is a 1,000-watt gigabyte UD100 GM. It is an 80-plus gold power supply. And if you drop that on your foot, you are going to feel it. It's going to be painful. So, Paul, walk us through some of the cool things about this power supply.
So this is apparently a special edition one because it's got 2 of these sticky labels on it. I've never seen that before. But this is a fully modular 80-plus gold power supply like you mentioned. What's cool about fully modular is this is the brick right here. You see there isn't any cables with it. All the cables come separately. And what's nice about this is we can just use the cables that we need for the build, put the extras in the accessory bag, and then that makes our tie-up look better, makes it, just look cleaner overall. And if you ever want to upgrade in the future, the cables are right here. Easy to plug in.
So Hastings, by the way, what's up, Hastings? How are you? Got a brand new 4070 Ti. This thing is a tank. Nice. Yeah, they are. Especially if you get that free fan. Those things are wild. Ghost Shahid, hopefully I said that correctly, asked, what do you guys think about the Ryzen 7 5800X with a 47?
Yeah, that's still a good combo. The 5800X and the 5800X 3D are like really good processors. So those are going to last you quite a bit longer than the other of the same generation AMD chips. But you are getting kind of to that tail end there when the next generation of GPUs come out. You're probably still safe with that processor, but it's kind of getting there. So, but for 5800X and 4070, that'll work fine.
Might have missed it which case you're building here, so I did reply with the link there, but this is a Leon Lee 011 XL. It is a raw, so Edward, do if you know, you know. Hello, welcome with all of the hype. Absolutely, Snippy. Absolutely. Akon Chain asks, is there a big difference from a 2-fan GPU to 3-fan? If they're both a 4080? Excellent question. Good question.
So if you're talking about frames in games, not really a huge difference there. Now typically if you got a 3-fan model card, it's going to come from the factory at a higher clock speed than the 2-fan models just because it can cool a little better. But it kind of goes back to the 4 sticks of RAM versus 2 sticks of RAM in my opinion, where it's really not going to be that impactful on your frame rate in game. So with GPUs, pick the one you want, and then I usually pick the coolest looking one that matches my system once I've decided if I'm going 4080, 4070, 7800X, all that good stuff. So.
Only Bemmer says, I can't wait for my CLX PC setup to come in. Oh, excited. Don't forget, once you get your CLX PC and you get it all set up, make sure you take a picture and put it in our Discord. We have an area in Discord, and that's discord.gg/CLX Gaming, just to see people's setups. We always love to see people's setups. Let's see here. DJ, do you give out codes here too? I do not give out codes on this channel for our shows here. No, I give codes out on my channel. But I will have 2 today for the Crusader build. So the Jim Make Atlanta one, which looks great. Let's see here. Is there a difference in the material they are made for? One is from gold. Oh, sorry. Let's back it up. What's the difference between bronze, gold, and platinum power supply units?
So the difference there, what those ratings do is they refer to the efficiency rating of the power supply. So there's 80 plus just base, and then it goes bronze, silver, gold, platinum, titanium, all the way up. And how that works is, in order to get just an 80 plus rating, the power supply has to be 80% efficient at 3 different ranges. So typically they do like a 10%, a 15%, and 100%, or somewhere in there. And then as you go up the ladder, you know, it goes from 80% to 82, 84% efficiency, you know, on up with the different numbers. So where that really matters is if you're like doing a mining rig, is where we see people go with the platinum or titanium power supply, because they're trying to be as efficient as possible and use the least amount of energy out of the wall so that their energy bill is lower. So I always tell people just go with 80 plus, you know, a base level 80 plus, and then, you know, pick one throughout there. A lot of power supplies are going to be in that bronze and gold range. So pretty much a safe bet to go with any of those.
Nice. Excellent. Let's see here. I have an i7 9700K and can't find a new board. Any suggestions on a replacement?
Ooh, you're getting to the point there where it's about time to upgrade everything, unfortunately, or upgrade your motherboard, which obviously, you know, it's going to make you upgrade pretty much everything. But, you know, when you're getting to those end-of-life boards, I mean, we even struggle to find them for, like, if I wanted one. So it's kind of like, you know, try to find a reliable source on eBay or Amazon or something like that. It's kind of hard to find a retail, you know, new in-box version of an old motherboard like that. And if you do, they're usually, like, priced through the roof.
Yeah. So what you're looking for is a Z390 using an LGA 1151 socket. Which a lot of numbers, but yeah. I'm sorry, I just looked it up.
Yeah, you just need to look up Z390 boards. That's it. But like I said, it's going to be.
Yeah, Z390. Commander Strato's back. Yeah. Hey, Strato, I think I might have figured out what was wrong with why I wasn't getting past that screen for Star Citizen. So, you know, just in case you're around. Wait, so Toothpick says, you mean my i7 2600K is outdated? I mean,
just a little bit.
I wouldn't say outdated. I will say that I had hair when that came out. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. That's probably debatable. Even my GTX 720 Ti is outdated. Listen, we have a little bit. I don't even remember what those looked like. I know the 1050 Ti that we have that we take apart to show people what it looks like. Yeah. You're still one on Sandy Bridge? No keys? Wow. Okay. Ivor refuses to believe that I ever had hair. Also true. Look at this. You have a ROG Maximus Z390 board if you're in the UK. Ah, look at that. One Dark Enigma's got something for you. Check it out. You should have a little chatty chat. See, that's why you come here and ask questions. Yes, no hair, only code hair, and that code is Saber-S6 Alpha 2. Sierra 6 Alpha 2, that is for 200 people, 100 entries. So get it in there because that means everybody's getting a code today. You get a code, and you get a code, and you get a code, hurrah. So yes, there we go. Now, speaking of codes, let's talk about the what you would consider a code for that giant beast you just pulled out of a box. This is a 3-fan RTX 4080 graphics card. It's got 16 gigs of RAM built into that sucker, which is really cool. But this also happens to be one of our faves because of the shape. Paul and I both talked about this. We love the shape of this because it's very fluid. Let's show you what that looks like. Pulling out all the things.
Got to get through all this packaging.
Right?
Hey, DJ, real quick.
The hamburger wrap. Oh, yeah.
Which one is the last day? Today's the last day for which one?
Well, today's the last show hour here, last show here for our channel, Salix Gaming of the year. But the final day to get entries is 30 days high September, April, January, February, 30. So 31st of December will be the final day you can get you can find a Saber code anywhere.
Okay.
And then that's when that closes. The DreamHack Atlanta build, for the Crusader build, that is actually going to be ending on the 3rd. Now, our first stream back, I want to get verification. Our first stream back, somebody type it in the, Nicole will tell me. Because I believe, I'm not sure if we're going to be back Tuesday or Thursday. I think we're going to be back Thursday. Is that correct? I should probably get verification on this. But as soon as, and once we get back after those two have ended, we're going to announce the winners right here on the show. Right here on the show. I'm so excited. I wish EVGA continued making GBQs. Yo, Whistacles, don't we all? Don't we all? Let's see here. Let me just type over here to Nicole and see what's up. Okay, get an answer for that, and I'll be able to tell you. Your GTX 720 is an EVGA card. Nice. My 2070 that's in my old gaming PC is an EVGA. I loved them. They're amazing. Now, one of the things that was amazing about them is because they were very solid and they were also pretty hardcore. Speaking of hardcore, let's talk about how solid this current one is that you've got in your hand. This Gigabyte. Paul, so let's walk through a little bit of the way the shaping is on it, just because it's kind of unique, but also the weight, because that is going to mean that we're going to have to introduce something else to this system, and that's an anti-sag bracket.
Yeah, so this is our Zotac 4080 here. Honestly, this is the right size of video card in my opinion. Not super huge. It's still a 2-slotter, a little bit thick, but it's not super tall or anything like that. But we got our 3-fan model here. We go to the back, you can see our back plate. Our PCB stops here, and this just allows for a little bit more heat to flow out here to the end and get off of the card. So yeah, I really like this oval design here that they've done. We've seen it on their 4090 and their whole 40 series as well.
Yeah, it's very rounded. It's very smooth. There's no real hard edges on the plastic. It's great.
Yep.
Commander Strato says, my dad still has a 1080 Ti in his computer, and I remember the size of his GTX 970 before that were absolutely tiny versus my 4070 Ti now. Yeah, definitely would be true. Rezaface asks a good question. Would the Crusader beat the Raven in a benchmark test? I don't know.
I'd have to see the specs from both. I don't remember what the differences are between the two, so I can't tell you.
Let me take a look over here. So, our Saber, the Crusader giveaway that you built at DreamHack had an i9 14900KF on a Z790 Edge Ti Max Wi-Fi, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and then of course your 2 terabyte ADATA NVMe N.2, obviously liquid cooled, a Strix RTX 4080 overclocked. Yeah, so it's that versus the i9 14900KF with an Asus Strix Z690F gaming Wi-Fi board. It's got 32 gigs of Lancer Blade DDR5, again a 2 terabyte ADATA NVMe M.2, and your Strix RTX 4080. Now that's the 4080, not the 4080 OC. So thoughts?
And the first one was a 4090, or was the first one a 4080 as well?
It's also 4080, but the first one was a 4080 OC.
Yeah, so they're going to perform very close to the same. It's going to be a little bit dependent on the application, but obviously not going to be the exact same, but you know, they're going to be very close.
They're both going to crank Star Citizen.
Yeah, they're both big pumpers.
Yeah. Yep. Is there any way to get just the bottom fan bracket from this case?
If you contacted Leon Lee, they might send you one. Get into with their tech support. This is, just let them know, hey, I'm looking for the bottom fan bracket for an 011XL. They might be able to get that for you. Some case manufacturers are really good about providing, spare parts for them.
Oh, yeah. So everybody, let's take a look over here to the image that we're going to be showing so you can get the actual peek. So right there, that is the, look at that. It's so gorgeous. That is so gorgeous. So yeah, that is the 4080 OC. It's the ROG Strix White Edition. Let's obviously the bigger sibling compared to my 3090. Yeah. And of course, Paul built this live on the show floor.
Look at that beautiful thing.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
The duality.
Here we go.
Of man.
Look at that. Yeah, you can see the white edition on the left, and then we've got the black edition on the right. The Saber Raven obviously is the one on the white with those beautiful frosted panes. You can see things, but it's not perfectly clear. Absolutely spectacular. Spectacular job. So PMAD says I'm still using an R9 290X Sapphire.
Dang.
And it's alive and kicking.
I had
Wow.
one of those
Nice.
way back in the day. We actually have an XFX 290X retail box in the back of the warehouse. I just put it in a safe spot just because it's cool. It's like fully sealed and everything. I think it's got, what, 2 gigs of RAM or VRAM, maybe 4?
Let's see here. For appearance, does the Linus Tech Tip screwdriver have any attachments like 90 degrees so you can get into tight spaces?
No.
Not that I'm aware of. What's up, Shoddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Me miss DreamHack again. I know. I miss DreamHack too. I wish I was there. Which one do I like better? Resaface asks. Well, I'm going to be honest. I really dig them both, but I feel like just for me, I'm absolutely in love with the Saber Raven. It's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, absolutely love it. It would be amazing. Let's see here. Why is it called Crusader when it looks like an Origin? Isn't it? Origin is isn't it the Origin Crusader?
Got him.
Tomato.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if that's the actual phrase that applies.
Some people say tomato. Some people say Tamagotchi.
Right.
Yeah, true.
I think it. The Crusader Spirit. Got it. Okay.
Tomato, potato.
Design is Intel inspired. Okay, got it, Ivory. There we go. There we go. Ivory just mentioned that yeah, it's Intel inspired. It still looks wildly awesome. I dig it. Yes, one is, well, yeah, for the codes, one is DHATL, the others is Saber. Yeah.
Sabre.
Let's see here. Well, they do have a DreamHack Australia.
Huh.
Yeah.
A dream hack down under.
Australia.
Yep, just like PAX. Did you say Saber? Sabry?
Sabre.
Sabre. Well, I mean, technically, I had somebody say that to me the other day. Is that, what do you guys, what are Sabre, like the,
It's
like the people who make,
it's multiple
Well,
berets. Just
well, it's Sabre,
it's-
Saber, or it's also the name of a company that makes, what's it called? Hummus. Yeah.
Also make triangle tablets.
You've been to PAX Australia? I went there several years in a row, right before the pandemic. Australia has too many things that want to kill or eat you, and ironically, all the time I've spent there, which was always in the falls, never had a problem. Oh yeah, we know it's 100% Saber. I was just making a joke about it. Would be nice if there wasn't just MIGW. Yeah, Melbourne International Games Week is huge. I love it. Now, obviously we're getting that panel put in on the bottom. So while this is sitting here, Paul, let's talk about those ports on the front of this case.
Yeah, so on the front here we've got all of our connections, and something that's commonly missed. It's easier to see on the white case, but on the black case it kind of blends in. We've got 2 USB connections down here at the bottom. So we've got 2 of these down here, a Type-C, a headset and mic, and then all of our buttons for all of our good things.
And one of the things that we didn't get a chance to really talk about much, and I want to just cover that real fast, is our cooling solution for our CPU. Now that i7-14700KF is going to need to be cooled by something, and Lee in Texas shows the Intermax LiquidMax 3 ARGB 360 closed loop cooler. Can the case be inverted?
The dynamic Evo
Yeah.
is the inverted one.
Which we do offer that as well.
Yes.
It's a little bit smaller than this chassis. It's still a full ATX, but just a little bit shorter than the XL. And yeah, you can get it in the regular config or the inverted config.
Black or white.
Alrighty. And one of the things I'm definitely digging on this is again, I love pointing this out. The rubber grommets make it just so much easier for cable management, and it just doesn't look messy. It looks great. Very much a Stormtrooper style build. Now that would be interesting to do. Drop bears don't exist. We should do a Star Wars build. Man, if we could get on board with Disney, good lord.
We could do a Moana build.
Let's see. Every Aussie tells me about them. Drop bears.
Okay.
Drop bears
That's
are
everything.
Koalas are. I've never seen a creature that can go from 0 to oh my god, this is terrifying so fast in my life.
Okay,
But they are adorable.
One fan, 2 fan.
Untitled Goose Game.
4. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Just had to go and check that out. Joke they post about them in Australian National Museum, right? Koalas are harmless except for the chlamydia. Well, that is, I just said that out loud. Yep, that is also true. Wish you guys got the AMD and Avatar bundles for an Avatar build. I know CLS would do it proper. Oh, yeah. That would be awesome, actually. Can you imagine that? An Avatar build? Good grief. When is the Raven giveaway? So the last day for you to get any entries for the giveaway will be the 31st, and at midnight that will close. We'll announce the winner on our first stream of the new year, and so you want to stay tuned for that. Chicken salt? Yes, I was talking about chicken salt the other day, which was a lot of fun. It was weird not having shows on Thursday or Tuesday. Okay, now we're getting this up here. So when it comes to figuring out where your fans are all going to be plugged into, what makes the difference of where you're going to be putting them through?
So these are 4-pin fans. So I want the radiator to be plugged into something that says a liquid cooler pump header or something like that. That's going to be set up in the BIOS to have those fans adjusted to whatever speeds are preset or what we set up if it gets overclocked. And that just allows it to everything be managed and maintained. What I'm doing here is just making them kind of separated out so that if, my thing, if there's any troubleshooting issues with these, it makes it a lot easier to not have to undo a whole bunch of stuff, but just one small section and fix real quick.
Nice. Okay, just real quick, I did get confirmation. We will be back on Tuesday for our show. So it'll be on January 2nd, 2024, the first show of the new year. We'll be announcing our winner then, and of course, then we've got Wednesday the 3rd is the last day you can get codes for the Crusader build, and then on Thursday, I'm sure we'll probably be announcing that winner as well. We're exceedingly happy about this. Very happy. Happy holidays. It's Big Sexy. Hello. Happy holidays to you too.
What up, Big Sexy? Good to see you again.
Hello. Yeah. And of course, we're excited to see who's going to win that. So many different ways, so many different possibilities.
This one.
And I basically got 2 codes for each day for the rest of the year for the Crusader build, which is going to be a lot of fun. White zip ties are the best. You guys in their white zip tie fascination.
Mm-hmm. One of these days we'll have them.
Someday soon.
But we won't use them
idea.
just to spite y'all.
Rude.
We'll use our white zip ties for our black builds.
There we go. I don't feel like that's what they were looking for.
That's what they get.
Can't you use clear?
You can, but they don't look as good. Like they don't blend. The clear ones that we have, because we had some clear ones, but they're almost kind of like
Creamy.
Yeah, they're like the old white computers that are like off-white and creamy. It doesn't look good.
PMAT over on the red says UV green zip ties are the best.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It'd be for RGBs. Yeah, the RGB zip ties would be hilarious. They just randomize the colors throughout the whole thing. There's just nothing matches. I would laugh significantly if you guys ever signed the side of the... Damn, that's what I should have had you guys do, was to sign my box before you sent it.
Oh, yeah. We've signed a couple
like
people's computers before. Some customers have requested it. This would be a good spot for it right here on a silver Sharpie.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Was putting like little signatures. So, oh my God, I played D&D LA. What up? It's Lee from Texas, buddy. We're building your...
Hey.
I believe it's yours. Yeah. This will be the 4th... I am enjoying the build. This will be the 4th and 5th identical builds, but in black. CLX did for us, and we love them, and we love you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Bill for hooking this up. Oh, yay!
So
I'm so glad you're here.
Lee.
So, yeah.
Glad you're in here getting to watch this.
Definitely. You've missed a little bit of the build out so far. You already know what you put on it, so, you know, you can always go back in.
Bill is like 20 feet to our left in his nice office. So we went and talked to him right before we went live. I was like, Bill, this is your customer.
So, so Lee, I got a question for you. Obviously, big fan of D&D. So, what are you going to be using this build for? I almost was waiting for a vocal, and then
I was too. I was like, no. Was I supposed to answer that question?
That's a big zip tie, right?
Alrighty.
These are for the boys who are gamers similar to me. Awesome. Dude, that's great. That's exciting. Well, I'm hoping that you will take pictures and put them in our Discord at discord.gg/CLXgaming so we can see the setups. We always love seeing when it's finally in use, you know, when it's going. Xantistorm, hello. Welcome. You ever need to top off your liquid coolers like a car's radiator? Well, that's a good question, Shad, and I'm going to let Paul explain the difference between what the liquid cooler we're using and I think the liquid cooler you're thinking about.
So on these AIOs right here, the AIO stands for all-in-one. That's the radiator we're obviously using here. You don't need to add any fluid or dump anything. They come with the right amount in it, and you just leave it how it goes. And these things will run for years with no issues. So that's what's really nice about these AIOs. They're easy to install. There's no maintenance at all. But if you're going with an open loop system where we have like custom bent tubes and actual reservoirs or a distro plate or something like that, then that is one that you would top off, you know, after it's ran for, you know, maybe 40 40 to 100 hours, something like that, all the air gets worked out, you might have to top those ones off. But on this system, no, or any AIO for that matter, you won't ever need to add fluid to them.
Nice. Now you can see that radiator right there as we laid it down on the top, and of course that's going to be covered with a magnetic filter to really keep any of the dust out. And interesting enough, we've got our 3 intakes on the bottom, we've got 3 exhausts on the top, we've got an additional 3 on the back that are intakes, and then 1 more exhaust, which creates a thing that we like to call positive pressure systems. Now, for example, I have a positive pressure system, and it's very clean. Paul, why is that?
So why we like to do positive pressure over negative pressure, if you Google this, you can find a million different arguments about it on the internet. Really though, what it comes down to is you want a positive pressure, which means you have more air coming into your system than you do coming out. And what that does is allow all the air coming in to go through all the right filtered elements of your case. If you have more air coming out than going in, it creates a vacuum, and so your system will actually be sucking dust and air in all throughout every crack and crevice that it can be. So that's why we recommend going with a positive pressure system. At the end of the day, it's not a super big deal or something like that. It just keeps your system a little bit cleaner.
And let's see here. So, and Salience wants to know, what's our favorite AIOs? Well, I mean, I have a, what's it? Mine's the Arctic.
Fantex Glacier 1, I believe.
Yeah, that's what, Glacier 1. And it's a 360. What's yours?
So I really like the Fantex Glacier 1 that you have, and there's a new model, the D30, that's a little bit updated and comes with the D30 fans. So if I was building a system for myself today with no budget limitations, I'd probably go with the Fantex Glacier 1 D30.
There we go. Yeah.
There's a lot
Those
of good
new
options
the D
out
series
there,
are so beautiful. The fans are just gorgeous. Anybody remember the EVGA AIO equipped cards? Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a few companies that are really jumping in on that. They were always I've always seen them as 240s. I've never seen them as 360s.
Yeah, so you can still get them now, and a lot of the brands, like you said, DJ,
So
have
proud.
that option available. It's a pretty rare thing, but it's basically where your GPU looks like this, but it has an AIO built into it with a radiator and fans mounted as well. So provides a little bit better cooling, obviously. They're quite expensive, so as far as like dollars spent per frame gained, you know, that's really at the top of the line. So, you know, I've never bought one myself, but it's definitely a thing that we see. Okay. And that goes back.
Speaking of things that we see.
Oh, sorry, DJ.
Yeah.
Ruined
Oh
the
no, go ahead. I was saying,
transition.
speaking of things that we see, I see an unlimited code for the Saber Raven giveaway. It is FFV3, Final Fantasy version 3. That is worth 200 entries to anybody who wants to use it, and that means everybody in chat's going to get one. We also have one for our Crusader that's also unlimited. It is DHATL, that's for DreamHack Atlanta, and it is WXCH, which, you know, like if you're listening to a radio station, thank you for listening to WXCH. We're now going off the air. So, yeah. Whiskey X-Ray Charlie Hotel. WXCH. Check it out. That's 400 entries, 200 for each one that you all just got, which is rad. Love it. So happy. Yeah. No Face over on the red says, hope you're having a great Christmas, CLX. Hello, welcome. Yes, we are. It's been a really great holiday season. It's been a lot of fun. Doing a lot of cool stuff. Let's see here. Yes, more codes. Yeah, you guys got codes. Good grief. Okay. Ruined Soldier, welcome in. Super Blue Nova, hello, welcome. So yeah, 2 PCs given away in 1 month. Now, can you point out for everybody what we're talking about when we say anti-sag bracket?
Yeah, so we go, right here's a good shot. It's going to be a little bit hard to see because it blends in with the chassis, but what I got my finger on right here is our bracket for an anti-sag to support our GPU. So essentially what this does is it uses the standoffs that we mentioned earlier and allows us to put a mounting bar right here. So this will stay here, and then there's an adjustable arm that goes up and down. So once we get our video card in, we'll put that arm in, adjust it as necessary, put in the set screw, and that's going to have support for the GPU on this side. So this is the actual arm itself here. We've got a nice rubber pad to support the GPU and help preventing its vibration. And this just slides up and down. And like I said, we'll get it to where it's supporting the GPU and put the set screw in.
Nice. And Commander Stratos, almost to 6,000 entries for the Saber Raven. Oh, that sounds fun.
Nice.
So much awesome, so much wow.
Drop that.
The beast of the fans
All right.
has been managed.
No face. Make sure you're putting them in the right item, and you're using the prefix codes. It's DHATL for the Crusader, DHATL dash, and then the 4-letter code, and of course that was WXCH. And then the top one, the other one would be for the Saber, and that's SABRE-FFV and the number 3. Because I'm not, you might want to log back out and log back in. Everybody else was able to do it. So
this is a really good shot of obviously the video card going in, but you can see that anti-sag bracket we were talking about here.
Sorry. So PMAT and No Face say the codes are not working for them. Interesting. That I would just say try logging out and logging back in, refreshing. Yep. Oh, the prefix codes, that's what I was missing. Oh, yeah. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So for the so anything that's for the Saber Raven, it's SABRE dash. And then the Crusader is DHATL, it's short for DreamHack Atlanta, dash, and then the 4 letters. Yeah. So just make sure those, let us know that works. Oh, PMAD got it to work? Heck yeah. Nice. Fat Albert, what's up, dog? How you doing?
Hey.
Welcome. DreamHack Atlantis. That would be a very interesting trip. Imagine just. That would be actually kind of a crazy set to put together. An under the sea version of DreamHack. I don't know. I think Marvel or Disney would probably have an issue with that. Not that I really care, but that would still be rad. Rad to do. Edward, yes, welcome. The Atlanta one was fun. Man, I wish we could have gone. Would have been really fun to meet all of you. Just don't take a sub there. Yes, toothpick. At least not one. There we go. Built by the lowest bidder. That's for sure. It's Merman, people. Merman.
Yeah, Merman.
Both of Merman.
Nope.
Think the U.S. Navy would lend a sub? I mean, even if they would, naval subs don't have windows.
Haha, I get what you're saying.
There is
They run
zero
on the Linux.
observation ability. Yeah.
What operating system do they run on then?
You could get it, but you wouldn't be able to see nothing. Let's see here. Who owns CLX Gaming? That is a question I will allow. I will let Ivory and Nicole answer over on the green side. How does one get a job for PC building? Good question, Edward.
So if you're local here in Wichita, we're always looking for talented people to apply. So that's really how you get into it. If you're not local, unfortunately, we don't have any like remote assembly positions. So it's kind of limited to our area.
There we go. Saber. First 4 letters on the Saber code. Well, there's 5 actually. It's SABRE. Yeah.
You're in KCK? Well, yeah, you're close. The Chiefs have been disappointing this year, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, it's definitely 5 letters. It's SABRE, and then you've got a dash and the 4-digit code. So, by the way, just to answer your question, Fat Albert, it is Cybertron International. Cybertron International, obviously, home of the Autobots and the Decepticons. That is the owners of CLX Gaming. One time we're going to make them give away prefix really long. Make it anti-establishmentarianism. The home of the GoBots. That no. The home of the GoBots was okay.
Okay. This is.
So that was Gobatron. That was Gobatron. Like, well, no. So GoBots was first. GoBots came out way before Transformers, but they never bothered to patent or license the concept. They just built these really great toys and made it a cartoon, and it was really fun. When I was a kid, I remember that. And then Transformers walked in, and Hasbro just locked up everything and was like, "Yep, nope, it's ours now." It was sad, Panda. This is the Celix Way giveaway code. Good luck. D9SE. Wait, for which one, Ivory?
Are those L's or I's? Help me.
Nicole can make the codes up to 100 characters. So actually, maybe it should just be a sentence. Thank you so much for joining us here at CLX Foundry Live.
We should
Dash.
yeah.
And then your 4-digit code.
I like the idea of a 100 character code for one use. That's a good one.
The first one to get all 100 characters typed in right.
Mm-hmm.
They made GoBots toys. Yeah, Gobatron. There we go. There we go. There's one for the DreamHack Atlanta build. It is DHATL-MFBA. So we're gonna be Mother Francis, Bachelor's of Associates. Thought I was gonna say something else, didn't you?
Sure did. I always think of Mother Francis when I see MF, you know?
Yes, also. Yeah. Or maybe a code worth -200. Let's not do that at all. Ever.
It's like a bad mushroom in Mario Party.
Was that Nicole, was that a +1 that you just did? What? One entry is all you need to win, people. One entry is all you need to win. There you go. Make a code, then do an MD5 hash or something like that. Yes, that's PMed. That's actually hilarious. You should up one of those in the PDX area, then DJ and I could work together to make PCs. I mean, oh wait, PMed, you're here? Are you here in the Portland area? Nice. Yes, it definitely true. I'm curious because mine came with its own. When you guys do builds with 40 series cards, do you recommend the buyer to get a support bracket since they are so heavy? Here we go.
So it depends on which 40 series. So our like kind of soft rule is 4070 or higher, we're going to put a bracket in. Now, if you order a system through us, that's something that we just provide. It's not something that you're like paying extra for or anything like that. But the 4060s and 4060 Ti's and lower than that are typically small enough that they don't need a support bracket. Now, if we do get a higher end model of those cars where it's like a triple fan 4060 or 4060 Ti, then we will install that bracket. But our kind of soft rule is 4070 or higher. We put a bracket in.
I mean, my 3090 even has a bracket on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's like 30s or 3070.
Just kind of
up,
70. The 70 up is adds weight.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, the irony is that my on my old gaming PC, it's a 2070, no bracket. It's a 3-fan 2070, no bracket. NVIDIA needs to make chips that don't use nuclear reactions. I mean, but that's what gives it such a nice glow. Let's see here. Asmok, how's it going? It's going well. We've got Lee from Texas, who's actually in the chat with us right now, getting to watch the build coming together. So exciting. It's always nice when we get to have whoever we're building it for in the house. And by the way, Lee, if you have any questions about your build or what things that you're seeing, make sure you pop them in the chat. We'll get those answered as quickly as possible. No need for RGB if you have nuclear reactions. I mean, a nuclear reaction under black light is technically cooler. I mean, the only downside is you only get to see it once.
Okay. Get these in.
Right? Oh my God.
And
So, In Need of Temperance just sent me the... Yes, Temperance, I was originally where I was going with it and then had to stop. I had to stop and be like, yep, nope, can't, It's not appropriate. Yeah, imagine that, just one single particle of, you know, plutonium and your computer lasts forever. Saber FFB3, yes, I believe that was what it was. With a dash there, CV. Whenever I see M and F together, I know, right? So that's why I said, Mother Francis.
All right, we're going to start throwing
Okay,
panels
look at
on,
that.
and we're going to be pretty much there.
Well, while you guys are putting the panels on, I would love to take everybody over to our website and showcase how you can get your hands on some of these amazing PCs. At clxgaming.com, we try to make it as easy as possible for you to get your hands on the perfect machine that is just right and is built for your needs. We have so many different sizes, types, and styles, plus designs. It's not even funny. I mean, technically it's funny because it's really confusing, not in the sense that it's confusing, but it's just so much to try and consider. There's so many different things. You can choose from AMD to Intel builds. We've got boards of all different size and kinds. Now, the one thing that I've heard from people is, well, what happens if I get two conflicting pieces of hardware? Well, our site's built so that you can't do that. Once you choose two things that aren't compatible, you'll see that little green button that shows up and says solve conflicts. Then you come over to where it says the conflict board, and so for this, it's a processor and a motherboard. If you choose, say, an Intel processor and an AMD motherboard, then it's going to say, all right, you've got this processor. You can choose one of these motherboards, or if you're like this motherboard, you're going to have to choose one of these processors. Once the compatibility is fixed, there we go, and it's ready to go. Now, we've got more than just basics on PCs here. You can choose your hard drives, your graphics cards. You can actually choose to have us, well, not me, them, they're smarter, overclock your GPU, your CPU. You can upgrade your thermal paste. And, yep, there we go. Power supplies, you name it. We even have an area for accessories that is wildly amazing. So everything from really cool CLX t-shirts and I hear my dog barking. CLX t-shirts and windbreakers. We've also got everything from streaming gear like capture cards to beacon materials like beacon mic, beacon mix creates, which are really fun. Routers, if you need to upgrade your router, sound, speakers, you name it, we've got it. Now, if that seems overwhelming, don't worry. We can simplify this out for you because we have the RTS, the ready-to-ship section, which are pre-built. They're already made. They've already gone through testing, and it's absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I had to yell at my dog real quick. And then if you want to adjust anything in there, guess what? Super easy. All you got to do is hit customize, and then we'll get that shipped right out to you. They're looking for a home, and who knows? Your home might be next. So with that being said, for all of your future PC gaming needs or just PC needs in general, head on over to clxgaming.com. There we are. Doing a thing. Doing a dance. Get down tonight. Yep, not sure where half those words came from. There.
I like thermal
And while that's happening, I've already mentioned that we can do another code. It may or may not be worth one entry. It's SABRE, SABRE-CDF6. 100 people get to use it. CDF6. There you go. Charlie Delta Foxtrot 6. Now, Paul, I did mention something in that last little run through regarding the website about what happens to these PCs and where they go. So where is Lee's PC going to go once we're done assembling it?
So once this is done being assembled and powers on, it goes to our testing and integration department. So the first thing we do there is get into the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure our RAM speed's set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up. So M.2 is 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches. And then maybe a couple other settings depending on the configuration. And then after that's all been set, we'll actually load the system. So the operating system, if you picked any games on our website, that's where we load those. If you don't pick any games and you just have an operating system, then that's all we put on there. We don't do any bloatware on any of our PCs. That's something we pride ourselves on. You're not going to boot this up when you get it at home and have to get rid of 10 different copies of an antivirus software, anything like that. And then once we have the system loaded, we'll put it through a 12-hour burn-in or a stress test. And the main thing we use for that is 3D Mark, a benchmarking software. But we do have a couple others that we run just depending on the configuration of the system. And we do that for 12 hours because if this system's going to fail, maybe a stick of memory allows it to turn on, but once you get gaming, it causes it to fail. That allows us to catch it here at our shop, fix it, and make sure you get a stable machine.
Nice. Excellent. All right. So now it's the moment of truth. Let's take a second and we're going to look
I think we're
at
good.
this PC for Lee in Texas.
All right.
Here we go. Are we ready?
See these
Let's do
Intermax
it.
fans. I like these ones. Oh yeah.
Wow, look at the color on that. And I really love that front color panel, the piece for the graphics card. Got the little swoop down there.
Yeah, that looks good.
Just absolutely incredible. Looks really, really good. All right, let's go over one more time what's inside this amazing PC for Lee in Texas. This is a raw 011XL by Leon Lee. It has an Intel Core i7 14700KF processor mounted on an MSI MPG Z790 Edge Wi-Fi motherboard. It has 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 RAM and that impressive RTX 4080 graphics card. The operating system and storage is all on one, and it is a 4 terabyte Seagate FireCuda 530 NVMe M.2 solid state hard drive. Now we're going to be cooling that CPU with our Intermax Liquimax 3 ARGB 360 closed loop cooler, and we've got 10 Intermax HF 120 fans to go with it. And all of this is being powered by a 1000 watt gigabyte 80 plus gold power supply unit. There we go. That looks good.
Good does.
I dig it a lot. Looks fantastic. Now, first of all, congratulations and thank you so much to Lee for popping in here and being here while we do it, because this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, this show's going to be going back to happening in 2 parts. So in just a minute, we're going to take a break. And when we do, after that, you're going to spend the afternoon with Zach while Zach continues building some amazing machines. Are you building the other one of that group?
I am building a white Mini, yes.
Got it. There we go. So, with that being said, don't forget you can find codes up for the Saber Raven up until the end of this month, and then for the DreamHack Atlanta Crusader until the 3rd. You can also find codes on my channel, which I will have 2 codes on my stream this afternoon for the DreamHack Atlanta build, and we're gonna have really good, really fun with the word games. So with that being said, you can find out all the things that are going on with CLX Gaming, including sometimes finding a code at CLX Gaming on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. If you want to go back and rewatch a show, you can also find our episodes there on YouTube. Plus, you can also join an amazing community of like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers at discord.gg/CLX Gaming. So with that said, gentlemen, we have got a show to do, and but before we do that, we wanted to give you all a quick inside look at some of the amazing events that took place at DreamHack Atlanta 2 weekends ago on the weekend of the 15th. It was absolutely amazing. So much happened with Star Citizen and our friends at Intel. So we're going to do that in just a moment when we go to our break. So on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach and DJ Blue PDX, stick around. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye.